And welcome everyone here to Oswald Field on the campus of Heston College. Rusty Witcher alongside Ian Leckie today as the Larks are playing a home game before spring break sets in on what can only be described as a slight, gentle breeze blowing out, or hurricane gusts blowing out today. We are in a high wind warning, not an advisory, a high wind warning, Ian. They're talking maybe gusts as high as 60 miles an hour today. We were up here talking in the game, talking before the game, and we're kind of taking a wonder how many home runs are going to be hit today in the two games. I'm going to guess 9. Ian said 0.
Yes, sir, Rusty. I just don't think they're going out today.
I think a routine pop-up is going to turn into an adventure out there. The wind is blowing almost out to left center field. So the team the Larks are playing today, the Northeastern Nebraska Hawks, they came down here. I was talking with their head coach before the game, Marcus Clapp, and Coach Clapp said they've lost 10 games already this season. Not quite the same that the Larks have. I think they were down 15 so far, even with the ones that have been added on. So the Hawks coming in today, 3-5. Larks 2-8 after dropping 2 the other day to northern Oklahoma. I think it was Tonka, was it not?
It was.
Tonka, which is always a baseball power in that region 2 down there in Oklahoma, which is always loaded. You've got Tonka, Enid, Western Oklahoma State, Redlands. It's tough.
It is, especially when they all rank in the top 10 in the country.
Yeah, in Division 1, not just Division 2. So today's lineup here for Northeastern Nebraska, leading the game off for the Hawks will be the third baseman, Christian Dumont. He's followed by Cale Lavuk. And then batting third is the second baseman, Drew Smith. Right fielder, Jaden Sinju bats cleanup, and Tanner Hunt plays left field and bats fifth. Mills Masick is the designated hitter. He is batting sixth today, and Bryce Walker, the catcher, bats seventh. Then you have Derek Bottaletto batting eighth, playing shortstop, and David Richardson bats ninth, plays center field. So that is the batting order for the Hawks. Larks defensively, Zach Duncan on the left, Grant Boyer is in center field, and Natty Solomon over there in right. Noriki Fujimaro, also known as Bob, is at third base. Robert Diaz and Noah Roberts up the middle. Kalen Haynes over at first base. Behind the dish is Caleb Stoll and Hudson Smith on the mound. You might actually have some numbers on Hudson today for us, I think, somewhere. That's some pitching numbers for us. I think he's been labeled the number 1 guy so far this season. I don't think it's a start, so looks like Hudson 0-3. He's appeared in 15 innings, has an ERA of 4.20, which unfortunately on a day like today could go up.
It could, but it's one of those good days. Huddy's when he's on, and does very well commanding his pitches. So I think Huddy does a very good job today.
Hey, for questions, comments, feedback about our live broadcast, we have the number right there on screen. Drop us a text, 620-217-1465. Whether you're a fan of the Hawks, fan of the Larks, we'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and shoot us a text. If you want to drop us an email, go ahead, and you can email us at golarks@heston.edu, GOLARKS@heston.edu. Either way, we'd love to hear from you. Ian will answer live questions. So he's ready. He's at the ready. He's got the book of advice ready to go. So a windy day. Temperature right about 48 degrees. It's actually warm, but it is very, very windy. I mean, even the pine trees, the evergreen trees, pine trees out there in center field are blowing. It is blowing out to left center. For those of you unfamiliar with Oswald Field, 275 down the lines, 350 to the alleys, and 390 to center, which sometimes I have seen that play 390 to 532 miles because of a south wind. The field is oriented sitting directly south as Huddy will come out to start this game, and Dumont will lead things off. So we'd love to hear from you, whether you're a fan of the Larks, fan of Northeastern Nebraska. Give us a text. Tell us who you are, who you're watching, where you're watching from. And this is the final game before the Larks are on the break for spring break. But I think they have the week off, and then they'll be back in action here on I believe the 19th is when they get back at it. So it'll be a interesting game today as... Okay, I'm not going to lie. I like the high socks, but I'm not sure about the black and yellow. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it makes us look like a bunch of little bumblebees.
So I could see the high socks being the Barnside red, maroon, and yellow, but I don't know about the black and yellow. But I do like the gray hats.
I do like that we all match.
That is true.
We all have the stirrups.
Yeah. These are kind of the old school stirrups too. Or are they more socks? I played back in the day when I played baseball. I actually had the stirrups, and if you didn't have the right ones, you'd trip on things. It was a disaster. So Dumont leading off the game here on the season. He is he leads the game off. He's hitting. What's he got? You got the stats right here. 214 on the season, 6 for 28, and he's appeared in 8 games. And Dumont will lead this off as we are ready to go here. And Dumont steps in. He is a sophomore. And mans the hot corner. The first pitch from from Hudson in the dirt. And 1 ball. It's kind of comfortable up here in the press box.
It is.
Got the window down. We don't even have the heater on anymore. The 1-0 delivery is Hudson working from the windup, and that is a fly ball hit, and that is out of here. The second pitch of the game is a home run, and already Ian is down 1-0, and the Larks down quickly on the solo shot home run. That'll bring up Kale Lavik. And Lavik 6 for 22, 273 average on the season. So what were you saying earlier about the ball?
Oh, Rusty, I don't know. You said 0. I said 9.
What is that? Oh, okay. All right. We're going to play that game. Gotcha. All right. So 2 pitches in and a home run, and there's 1 run across. And the first pitch is outside to Lavik for a ball. I already got a text. I'll get to that after this pitch. The 1-0 delivery. That one's fouled back and over the press box here. Watching from Grand Island, Nebraska, and cheering for my son, David Richardson, for Northeast. Love you, son. All right, so Grand Island in the house. Let's go dirty words from Texas. So Texas also with us. That one fouled off on the right side, and that will get out of play. And so Lavik, but down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, and they took a ball out of play already. So the 1-2 delivery as Huddy working out of the windup. That one fouled back and to the Campus Activity Center. So Lavik with a little bit of batter's box disco dancing, staying alive. And the 1-2 coming up. Swing and a miss as Lavik chases high cheese, and there's 1 away. So 1 run across, 1 out, and that brings up Drew Smith. Smith on the season, one of the leading hitters here for Northeast Nebraska in their 8 games. He's 10 for 26 with a 385 batting average. He has 3 runs driven in, has hit a home run for Northeast. And first pitch swinging popped out of play. Whoever's on foul ball duty is going to have a busy day, I think. Ian, do you know the average lifespan for a Major League Baseball?
So like 6 pitches?
Ooh, very good. 6.5. Well done. The 0-1 coming up. That one's fly ball right center field. That will hang up there. And coming over and making the play was Grant Bloyer. Grant calling off Natty out there, and there's 2 outs. So it'll go down in the book as a fly out to center. And now there's 2 away for Jaden Sinju. Sinju, 6 for 20 on the season, 300, but he has 7 ribbies, leads the team. Also struck out 6 times, 1 walk, 1 stolen base, and a double. As this wind blowing from right to left. And the first pitch upstairs for a ball. The 1-0 curveball in there for a strike in the count, 1-1 strike. That was a pretty good curve. I would have jelly-legged. Doesn't take much to get me to jelly-leg, but I would have jelly-legged. My knees would have buckled in the 1-1 delivery. That stays too far outside in the count, 2-1 strike. I believe, Ian, you are redshirting. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Ian was a pitcher, is a pitcher, I shouldn't say was a pitcher, but he'll take the red shirt. And the 2-1, fly ball center field. Grant going back on the run. That will be over Grant's head to the warning track, and it dies in the mud for the double. So a little bit of mud or a swamp, whichever you like to prefer on the warning track right now.
Good call on Grant's part, though. Making sure to get that caller out there immediately. Prevent extra bases.
That ball will come in and have to go to the car wash. So a double by Sinju brings up Tanner Hunt. Hunt, so far, 5 for 22, 227 on the season. Coach Clapp told me before the game they're not sure if they will get to play before they open their conference. There's a looper out to left field, dropping down for a base hit in front of Duncan, and Duncan knocks it in and into the swampland, and it'll be a trading places double and another run in for Northeastern. And Northeastern now up 2-0. That's one thing. These warning tracks have always had the potential when it gets wet to just absorb every bit of water. And so this brings up Mills Masick. Masick the DH today. And Huddy working from the stretch. And the first pitch Masick sees fouled back to the campus activity center. Again, we'd love to hear from you. Send us a text. The 0-1 coming up. That stays upstairs. And they count 1-1 strike. What do you think he threw there, Ian?
It looked like a curveball that didn't break.
I thought kind of it was a curve that didn't curve as well. Hunt dancing away from second over there. That's a fly ball to center field. That gets up, and it will hang. And that play made out there by Grant. So, 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the first here as Northeast Nebraska takes a 2-0 lead. And the batting order for the Larks, Noah Roberts to lead things off with Bob Fujimura to bat second. Caleb Stull has been swinging a hot bat. He hit his 3rd home run of the season down in Oklahoma. He is batting in the 3-hole. Caden Bartlett moves to cleanup and the designated hitter role today, with Kalen Haynes batting 5th, playing first base. Natty Solomon in right field bats 6th with Zach Duncan in left field, and Robert Diaz batting 8th and playing shortstop, with Grant rolling the order over into the 9-hole. Hunt will be in left field for the Hawks, Richardson in center, and Sinju out in right. Dumont is at 3rd base with Bottaletto and Smith up the middle at short and second, respectively. Levac over first base, and Walker is behind the dish with Shaw on the hill, and we have Shaw's numbers here. Andrew Shaw has appeared in started 2 games. He's 0-2, 7 innings pitched, surrendered 13 runs, 13 hits, 12 runs, 11 of which were earned, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, and has an earned run average of 14.14. So we are getting closer and closer. Got a text saying Wayne Kerr from Omaha, Nebraska, go Hawks. So a lot of Northeastern fans tuning in. They did this last year a lot too. They loved the fact that they got to watch a lot of their kids play, and the number up the screen helps having unlimited text messages. As Shaw will get this off, and he'll face off with Noah Noriki, also known as Bob. It's just kind of fun to say it, Noriki Fujimura. It is. It's a fun name to say. and Caleb Stahl all due up here in this bottom of the first inning. 2 7-inning games here on tap with the wind howling out today here at Oswald Field. And we've seen 1 home run. Ian had predicted 0. Yeah, I'm not going to let you get away with that. Ryan Morrissey's over here running the scoreboard. Morrissey said 5 for the day, right? Morrissey, is that what you said? Okay, he said 5. So Noah will dig in here to start things off. And you've got the Lark numbers. You can tell us what Noah's hitting on the season.
He's hitting 300.
Okay.
Dead even.
And the first pitch he sees from Shaw is a strike right at the knees. So a couple lefties battling here. And Shaw deals again. And that one's too far outside. Looks like Shaw's got some pretty good velo on his fastball. Count 1 ball, 1 strike. Shaw working quickly. And that one fouled back to the campus activity center. And the count now moves 1 ball, 2 strikes to Noah. And you know, they've always said the most important pitch in baseball is the fastball. Do you know what the second most important pitch in baseball is? The fastball. It's number 1 and number 2. That's how important it is. The 1-2 and a swing and a miss down in the dirt. And the throw down and almost pulled the first base away. And Noah is retired on the strikeout. And that brings up Noriki Fujimura, who has been tearing the cover off the ball. You noticed that in the stats when you were looking on the season.
He is. He's hitting an impressive 483.
Yeah, and one thing we were talking about before the game is what Bob likes to do. If he gets behind the count with 2 strikes, he will choke up and he will try to go the other way. He tries to put the ball in play, and he takes a ball upstairs on the first pitch he sees from Andrew Shaw. And the 1-0 coming up. That one missing in the count. Now 2 balls and no strikes. Ian told me before the game he would have loved to pitch on a day like today, as that one fouled back to the fence. And the count evens or moves 2 balls, 1 strike. Really would have loved to pitch on a day like today?
Of course. I may not know where it's going, but neither does the batter.
I like it. I like it. The 2-1 delivery from Shaw. And Bob fouls it off. And the count evens up to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And so we'll see Bob probably choke up a little bit, protect, try and put the ball into play. And he does. That's a tapper, but it rolls foul, and Bob stays alive. 1 out here in the bottom of the first for the Larks. They trail 2-0. And we've seen 3 hits, all of the extra base variety here. And the 2-2 coming up. Bob fouls it off and stays alive again. And they've always said the more a batter fouls it off, the more the advantage swings to the batter. The 2-2 coming up. Fouled off again. Bob just up there battling. He's the kind of guy as a pitcher you probably don't want to face because he's going to foul everything off, and you're going to get tired of throwing him pitches.
He is a tough one.
And they count 2-2. Smith dealing again. Shaw dealing. That's a fly ball to center field. Coming on is Richardson, and he'll run under and make the catch. And now there are 2 away for the Larks and Caleb Stahl. Caleb came in with 3 home runs on this. I believe the numbers are, I know he hit a home run. Those were not updated, so he's got 3 home runs and 10 ribbies for sure.
That is correct.
Leading the Larks with 3 dingers.
He reached base all 4 times in the second game of the last series.
And hits a laser beam to the second baseman, but Smith gloves it, and the Larks go quickly and quietly 1-2-3. We've played an inning. Hawks 2, Larks 0. We'll be back after this on the Lark Network.
Rabbit Ride, Houston, Texas.
Brett Heichman, Lindsborg, Kansas.
Caden Bartlett, Amber, Oklahoma.
Caleb Stoll, Litchfield Park, Arizona.
Tatum Ferguson, Nassau, Bahamas.
Connor Leach, Erie, Colorado.
Dalton Woody, Cibolo, Texas.
Dave Milburn from Lincoln, Nebraska.
David Berzins, Houston, Texas.
Dave Ryan, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Dayton Watkins, Valley Center, Kansas.
Grant Bloyer, Winfield, Kansas.
Hudson Smith, Waukomis, Oklahoma.
Hugo Kinabuchi, San Diego, California.
Ian Leckie, Overland Park, Kansas.
Justin Durnall, I'm from Windsor, Colorado.
Kalen Haynes, Trophy Club, Texas.
Kendall Theory, Westlake, Louisiana.
Malachi Swartz, Overland Park, Kansas.
Naoki Izumura, Tokyo, Japan.
Natty Solomon, Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Nick Platten from Adelaide, Australia.
And welcome back here to Oswald Field. We'll head to the top of the second. Bryce Walker, Bottaletto, and Richardson all due up here for the Hawks with a 2-0 lead. And again, you guys are welcome to Texas. Fan of the Larks, fan of the Hawks. Let us know who you are, who you're watching, where you're watching from. They did back the weather off. I got an alert on my phone that the wind isn't quite as severe as it was. It's still wind advisory, but it's not a high wind warning. Either way, it's still a jet stream out to the outfield. The 1-0 coming up, and a very vicious swing by Walker, as Walker was not cheated on that swing, Ian. He was trying to hit that to a different zip code. The 1-1 coming up. And Huddy took a little bit of that off. Walker fouls it off. And the count now 1-2 strikes. You almost need to have people on top of both dugouts ready to go after foul balls. That could have been your job today if you wouldn't have been here.
It would have been. That was my job last game.
That one fouled back and out of play as Walker staying alive again. And the count now still riding 1-2 strikes. And like we said earlier, Ian will answer life questions. So go ahead and text those in. And the 1-2. Fouled back and to the fence. Ian's also a very avid trivia player. Apparently, I saw that during basketball season when he was embroiled in very competitive trivia games. Walker fouls another one off, and he still lives 1-2 strikes. At the knees, and Walker is frozen at the dish, and he goes down, and that is Huddy's second strikeout of the day. I'll bring up Derek Bottaletto, and Bottaletto looks like this will be his first attempt at their first trip to the dish today on the season so far by the stats I found on the NJCA website. Lefty on lefty matchup. And the pitch missing. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Bottaletto man shortstop. Big curve over, and the count now 1-2 strikes. The 1-2 fouled off and back to the fence. Ian's alma mater playing for the 6A state championship tonight in Koch Arena in Wichita. And the 1-2 coming up. Fouled back, and we are seeing a lot of foul balls today. reminds me of sometimes the Larks softball games when we see a lot of foul balls. It's been a minute since the Larks softball team has played. Every time they were ready to play, Mother Nature has said, no, not on my watch. She's been very spiteful this year. The 1-2 on the way. Big curve just misses inside. And it did miss.
Beautiful pitch.
It was just a little bit too far inside. I had a good view of that. And so the count evens up at 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Huddy has gone back-to-back with strikeouts. That's his third of the game. And that brings up David Richardson, the center fielder, and the 9-hole hitter for the Hawks. And Richardson on the season. Looks like he's looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3 and takes a hefty hack at the first pitch he sees. So Ian, being from Overland Park, Royals fan?
Of course.
Okay.
I'm happy with they just signed Maldonado today.
There's a looper that's foul on the left side. Unfortunately, the Royals will be without Salvi all season long, which is rough. I like Salvi. Salvi's a great dude.
He's a great guy. Surgery went well though, and
Good.
He's a big team player. He's going to have a big impact even in the dugout.
The 0-2 coming up. Swing and a miss. And they say that the ball was controlled. Richardson goes down. Huddy strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3 we go. We'll go to the bottom of the first coming up. The bottom of the second. Larks trailing 2-0. We'll be back after this on the Lark Network.
Adriana Ruiz from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Amy Bertado from Whittier, California.
Anissa Aguilar, Hacienda Heights, California.
Cassidy King from Cochranville, Pennsylvania.
Chelsea Smith, Tacoma, Washington.
Jenna Garcia, Hutchinson, Kansas.
Jenna Schneider from Lodi, California.
Jesse Miranda from Turlock, California.
Kaylin Lastly from Salina, Kansas.
My name is Alexis Avalos, and I'm from Yucaipa, California.
Madison O'Brien, Zuni, Virginia.
Malia Sandy from Girard, Kansas.
Paige Biddle from Sacramento, California.
Reese McCrary from Sacramento, California.
My name is Sadie Leatherman, and I'm from Couts, Indiana.
Shay Hoover, Potwin, Kansas.
And welcome back here to Oswald Field on the campus of Heston College. Rusty and Ian manning things up here. We're having a good time.
We are.
Got a text here. All right. Shout out to my guy, Derek Bottletto. Stay hungry from Randy Leahy. So a lot of Northeastern fans in attendance. So Lark fans, the gauntlet is thrown down. And the first pitch from Shaw missing outside on the fastball. So Lark fans probably need to get their texting game up. The 1-0 coming up. That one stays outside to Caden. And you've got the numbers on Caden over there on the season.
He is. He's also hitting a nice 300.
Okay. Now there's a pitch on the outside corner for a strike, and the count now quickly moves 2 balls and 1 strike to Mr. Bartlett. Fly ball hit a mile high, and that could be an adventure. Coming underneath it is Dumont going back, and then making the play was Bottletto as that one got up and moved a long way. Good play, though, by Bottletto to back up third baseman Dumont. And so there's one away for Kalen Haynes. And I don't think it's safe to say Kalen has never been cheated on a swing.
I don't think so.
And that pitch downstairs for 1 ball. Shaw works, and the curveball over for a strike, and the count evens up 1 ball, 1 strike. So Shaw went back-to-back curveballs here. Fastball, and Kalen misses, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. If Kalen would have made connection, I'm not sure they could have found that baseball. So Shaw deals. And that one stays down and away, and the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good pitcher's pitch, though. So the 2-2 delivery. Kalen fouls it off and battles. And the count riding 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and Kalen goes down. That is the 2nd strikeout of the game for Andrew Shaw. And that will bring up Natty Solomon. So Larks quickly with 2 down. And Natty with a healthy hack at high cheese, and he's quickly behind 0-1. Painting the outside corner, Shaw working quickly here. And he's well ahead with 2 strikes. The 0-2 delivery. That pitch missing outside. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. So here's my question for you, Mr. Pitcher.
Yes, sir.
1-2 count. You trying to throw a backdoor breaking ball right here? There's the backdoor breaking ball, and it's a strikeout, the 3rd of the game. Again, the Larks quickly and quietly, 1-2-3. We've played 2 innings here from Oswald Field. Northeastern Nebraska 2, your Heston College Larks 0. We're back after this here on the Lark Network.
Is on the forefront because of different discoveries in genetics and chemistry. I have a professor that's passionate about it. It helps me kind of realize the potential of the field.
What are problems that you, as you grow up as students, are going to have to deal with? And the more informed you can be, the better prepared you're going to be. There's this constellation of different interests that students often have and are able to move out and head in different directions.
So 2 shorter ones.
It happens every semester. The students actually do their own cooking. They also coordinate songs, coordinate dances. It gives our students a chance to say, these are the things that are great about my home country that I could bring to you.
And welcome back here to Oswald Field. Larks trailing 2-0 here. Larks are still looking for their first hit. We'll go to the top of the 3rd. And it's the top of the order, Dumont. So the second pitch he hit, he deposited over onto the soccer field for a home run. And just the 3rd home run of the season for the Hawks. They're 8 games in. Larks are 10 games in. They're both fighting weather. The weather has been ridiculous as of late. So Dumont is 1 for 1 with a home run and a run driven in. That's a pretty good day at the dish, and this is only his 2nd trip. And that one hard hit on the ground. Bob can't come up with a spinning throw across. Scoop by Kalen will get past. That will go over to the fence. And Dumont thinking 3. Kalen chases it down. So we have 1 error on the throw. How are you going to score that?
It's an E.
I think so too.
E5.
I think it is. 2 on that. That'll bring up Levac. Levac went down in his first at-bat, striking out. Count 0-1. Huddy deals as a fly. That's popped up. That could stay in play. That will hang, and it goes over the head of Caleb. That's just so tough. A pop-up like that will blow back 15, 20 feet, and it did. Caleb overran it, and Lavick picks up his another chance at the dish. That's on the ground through the hole, right side. Nice piece of hitting for Levac. And Dumont on his way home on the single. And Northeastern Nebraska has tacked on another run after the Ribby single. And that brings up Drew Smith. Smith flew out in his first at-bat. That's just a good piece of hitting, Ian, to not overdo it too much, go through the hole on the right side, find a little bit of green, and get a ribby for your trouble. Or as Rex Hutler would say, a hit with a stake attached. And the count 1 to Smith. He flew out to center field. He's 0 for 1. Huddy dealing. That's a fly ball. That's up, and that will tail away and be foul. That was a towering fly ball. And the count even at a ball and a strike. You can see the clouds moving towards left center field. Almost. Guess you can't on the view they have. I can, but I'm looking up. I'm not looking on the screen. The 1-1. Fouled off the fist. That will get on a plane. Hits the top of the press box. That's rare. That's rare. Ian, you know, I've been around this game a long time, and you can always see the people who've played ball in some capacity. When a foul ball is back to the fence like that, the people who have played reach for it. The people who have not, they get out of the way. They go bailing for cover. And the 1-2 coming up. Fouled off again. We have seen a plethora of foul balls already. It's always a good broadcast when you can work in the word plethora. And the 1-2 again coming up for Huddy. Fastball missing very high, and the count moves 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the count. Now the 2-2 coming up. I got a flurry of text messages from Jasmine Pancratz. We'll get to those in just a second. That one foul. That one is a fly ball left side up in the wind, and that is Gandhi. As that one is out of here, Smith hits a home run. That is home run number 2 for the day for Northeastern, a 2-run bomb, and Northeastern now leading 5-0. Jasmine Pankratz texted in saying that she's at the KU game doing post-game interviews, but still checking in on Larks baseball. Don't miss me too much, but don't forget about her either. Never, Jasmine. Never, never, never. So good to know Jazz is checking in. And none out here in the third. And Hudson with the strike. The 0-1, we were visited by a ninja in the press box. And there's that one missing downstairs. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. That was a no-doubt home run as Zach didn't even move. That got up in the wind and sailed over the backstop, or sailed over the berm even. That one's staying downstairs in the count now, 2 balls and 1 strike. Still not quite the longest home run I've seen hit here in my days. My freshman year here, Ian, was the first year Oswald Field was used. They had 17 blades of grass on the infield. We know, we counted. The 2-1 coming up. That's a fly ball left side. That'll be out of here too. And that one has gone back-to-back home runs as that one almost hits the soccer field scoreboard. And Sinju goes deep. And that is the 6th run allowed and the 3rd home run hit of this contest by Northeastern Nebraska. Really? 0? 0, huh?
I had confidence in Huddy.
I did too, but on a day like today, what do you do?
The ball would be down. I thought they'd come out here expecting to hit home runs, maybe overswing them, get under them a little bit, pop up a lot.
Unfortunately, those pop-ups get up in the jet stream and they're gone.
They are, but those are some drives out there.
They have been. They have hit. Those home runs are not cheap in any way, shape, or form. Don't get us wrong. Those 3 home runs are out of here on a calm day. So Northeastern Nebraska has hit their 3rd home run. They've scored 4 this inning. They lead 6-0. As head coach Tim Cole out there to talk things over with Huddy and Caleb. I'm probably saying, hey, stay. It's one of those days. Just keep trying to throw strikes. Throwing strikes is the goal on a day like today. Keep the ball down. So we've seen 2 home runs and a single in this inning and 1 error. 4 runs across, and the Larks still looking for their first out. That one fouled off, and the count 0-1. The thing about this ballpark that people don't understand, on a normal day, and this is kind of a rarity to have a northwest wind blowing out so violently, and on a normal day, this park gets deep in a hurry, as that one is a hot shot, and that is foul past the bag on the left side. It's 275 to the lines, but 350, and it's almost a straight shot back to 350, and people come in saying, oh, it's just 275, and I think they get a little bit of overswing going on. Count is 0-2 here to Tanner Hunt. Hunt did double and doubled in a run in his first at-bat. That one misses upstairs from Huddy, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Huddy misses away, trying to force Hunt to chase, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Huddy comes back, and that is Huddy's 5th strikeout of the contest. That will bring up Mills Masick. Masick flew out to center field in his first at-bat. He's 0 for 1 so far in the afternoon. I just think it's absolutely pleasant up here in the press box.
It is.
We don't even have the heater going. That one missing downstairs. And they count 1 ball. Masick, a freshman. takes a strike on the outside corner. Came into the game with just 3 at-bats. 6 at-bats, 3 hits on 6 at-bats. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Masick fouls it off towards the campus activity center behind us. And the count 1-2. Hey, fans of Lark Athletics, keep checking back as we get closer and closer to April, and we'll have details on as that one coming inside, and Masick wears it, and he will trot down to first base and rub a little dirt on it. We'll have information on the Lark Open golf tournament coming up in June that will benefit Lark Athletics, and we'll be able to have some information. You'll be able to see how to sign up. So come here in June and play great golf at the Heston Golf Park, one of the premier golf courses in the area, a phenomenal 18-hole facility, a public golf course here. And that is a fun tournament. I think I've played in every year, except one. They've had that. That one coming inside. And they count 1 ball to Bryce Walker. Walker struck out looking his first at bat. And the 1-0. Swing and a miss. The runner going. Caleb's throw in time. And that was a good throw as Masick caught stealing.
Excellent throw by Caleb. Noah did a nice job making sure he didn't get that hook slide in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the throw was on target, and it was enough time. That's one of those where you're almost so ready for it that a hook slide, like you said, throws you off and slips in. That pitch misses upstairs. And then count 2 balls and 1 strike here to Walker. That one fouled back and out of play. And the count now moving 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bryce Walker. Walker did strike out in his first at bat. He struck out looking. Damage has been done on the bombs hit. And the 2-2. That one punched foul and out of play. At some point, you just might as well just go take a bucket of baseballs behind home plate at this point and say, okay, here you go, guys. We have seen a lot of foul balls today. Huddy deals. Too far in, and that will scoot away from Caleb, and now the count is full. And this is the first time we've seen a full count today, Ian.
It is.
So a payoff pitch coming up.
It's a big one. 3-2 with 2 outs.
Big payoff pitch. Fouled off. Walker went after the high fastball. Fights it off and stays alive. How frustrating was that for you when you've worked and threw a great pitch and someone fights it off just enough to stay alive?
Oh, well, it's very frustrating. Preseason went up against Mr. Morrissey over there twice. We both went 10-plus pitches in the at-bats.
Who got the better of you?
We split. I got him to pop up once, and I also walked him once. And then walked him other times, but it didn't take 10 pitches to get that walk.
Another payoff pitch coming up. That one misses down and away, and the first walk of the game is issued by Hudson. And that brings up Derek Bottaletto. Bottaletto struck out in his first trip to the dish. We're in the top of the third, 4 runs across. Thanks to 3 hits and error, 2 of those hits were back-to-back home runs. That one fouled off and out of play. We've got the lefty-on-lefty matchup here between Bottaletto and Hudson Smith. Ian, you're about to head to spring break. Got any big plans?
I just heading to Colorado with some of the guys.
All right.
Stay at Connor's house. Enjoy a nice week in the cold.
That was a line drive base hit up the middle to center field. And Bottaletto aboard. And that will bring up David Richardson. Richardson struck out his first at bat. So when will you guys take off then?
Right after these games.
Okay. How long a drive?
It's about a GPS says about seven hours, but Connor's thinking make it in about six hours, 30 minutes.
Okay, not too bad.
But you know, he makes the drive, so
he knows the
he knows the ways.
That one fouled back into the fence. David Richardson. Of course, sometimes you can't trust the GPS to take you the right way.
No.
If you've ever used Yahoo Maps to go somewhere, you never know where you're going to end up.
Get there early morning, about 3:30.
The 0-1 now from Hudson. Curveball missing outside. And the count even at a ball and a strike.
It's been a while since I gotten out of Heston, though, so it'd be kind of nice.
Well,
be a nice break for all of us.
Yeah.
What about you? Got any big plans?
That one missing downstairs, or right at the top of the knees for the strike. Well, if the weather holds, if the weather does anything that would allow me to either golf or fish, I will. But it looks like it's going to be wet for the first part of the week. So I might just watch the Big 12 tournament.
It's not a bad thing.
The 1-2 coming up. That one missing high on the count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. No, I've not there. You know, I may or may not. I watched 4 games of basketball on Thursday at 6A, 4 games of basketball, or 4 games on Wednesday, 4 games on Thursday. Basketball junkie, maybe just a little bit, wee bit, possibly.
Watch some SEC baseball. They got 11 teams ranked right now in the top 25.
That swing and a miss, and Richardson goes down, swinging for the second time, but 9 hitters sent to the plate, 4 runs, crossing on 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base. We've played 2.5 innings here, Northeastern Nebraska leading the Larks 6-0. We will be back after this here on the Lark Network.
When we all work together to see what we can collaborate on and how things are going to work together.
I really love that moment when I see a student finally connect with their character. I stop seeing them and I begin seeing the character.
It was important for us to get a page up for managing the social media of the theater department, especially to show what's going on with the show, what's going on with future productions.
I can go in any direction that I want.
I want to give my best and I want to do my best here.
College was the best decision that I could have made for the first 2 years of college. I'm a go-getter, a thinker, I like to be challenged, and I'm getting all that here at Heston. I'm living in a mod with people from all around the world, which is feeding my thirst for a broader worldview. I'm on a first-name basis with my teachers, which is really emphasizing this community that is so present at Heston. And so I'm really glad that I chose to start here at Heston College because I've been given the tools and the mindset to go everywhere.
And welcome back here to Oswald Field. Larks have gone down quietly 1-2-3, 1-2-3. Zach Duncan looking to break out here in the bottom of the third, trailing 6-0. And that one is right there at the knees for a strike to Mr. Duncan. The 0-1. Zach backs off. And the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Shaw misses outside with a curve. And the count now moves 2 balls, 1 strike. Revisited by the Ninja again. And the 2-1. Fouled off over the press box. And the count now riding 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach on the season. You've got Zach's numbers over there. You've got the Lark numbers over there.
He said 217.
Okay. Zach fights it off, fouls it off, and it's vacuumed up in foul territory over there by Dumont. So Zach gets another chance.
Duncan's got a big old birthday coming up tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, really? Eventually, birthdays run together. I hate to be the one to tell you that. They just kind of run together. Shaw dealing now, and the curveball stays outside. Tried the backdoor breaking ball, just too far. Payoff pitch coming up. And Zach draws a walk, and the Larks have their first base runner aboard. And so, Ian, I'm going to throw another stat at you, because baseball is a game about numbers. In Division I college baseball, the leadoff runner gets aboard, and 67% of the time they're usually scoring. Former head coach Rob Ramsire charted it, and he said it's in the JUCO ranks, it's more like 71% for that. So
I believe it.
Larks with a little something cooking for Robert. And Robert takes a strike from Shaw. I'd like to know what Shaw's throwing here. His velocity looks pretty good. Pick off, and Zach dives back in. I always hated leading off against lefties because I was going to get picked off. Even in my meager baseball career. As Robert taps it, and it will roll foul. Walker jumps on it. So, count 0-2 here to Robert. Strike 3 at the knees. Robert frozen. And the Larks now with 1 out and a runner aboard. Hey, big congratulations to Essence Tolson and Cal Hartley, as they were both named Jayhawk second teamers for their respective squads.
They were both second team?
Yeah, both were named second team. Essence on the women, Cal on the men.
It's a little shocking.
Expecting them to be higher?
Oh, yes. Especially with what Cal was averaging and the rebounds and points Essence was giving.
And there's a good curveball over for a strike to Grant.
How are those picked, though? Those votes by coaches, or what
I think it might be coaches. I think the coaches have a say in that. So there's 6 Division II basketball teams. So the backdoor breaking ball drops over for a strike, and the count now 0-2. That one just misses. That looked mighty close.
It did.
And the count. No.
Especially with the last 2 pitches being right there.
Yeah.
Definitely would have protected.
Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shaw deals. Swing and a miss for Grant as he chases outside. And that is the 5th strikeout for Andrew Shaw. And that brings up leadoff hitter Noah Roberts. Larks still looking for their first hit. Noah struck out his first at bat and fouls one back to the fence. The 0-1 coming up. That one getting away from the catcher. Zach will trot down to second. That pitch in the dirt.
Got Kendall watching all the way in Texas.
All right.
Well, music player went home, so.
All right.
Ryan had to take over his job, but.
And Morrissey, you know, he was really trying to drop the ball earlier, but he bounced back. Wonder if Kendall's going to get some jambalaya over the break. The 1-1 coming up here to Noah. And Noah lays off. That's down in the dirt, and the count now moves 2 balls and 1 strike. They ask if he did go. The field ump said no, he did not. I haven't made that in a while. I need to make a batch of that. The 2-1 coming up. Fly ball hit to center field. That is going to get over the field. The head of the center fielder rolls on the warning track. It will be a ground rule swamp double for Noah. And Noah will get a ribby as Zach comes around to score. It's 2 bases right there on the double. Richardson, though, give him credit, Ian. He covered a lot of real estate out there.
He did. For a second, I thought he made the grab.
I did too. So apparently they're going to play the warning tracks as a dead ball under the fence because it is a swamp out there. And the good news was that Richardson bounced right back up and was not swallowed up from the warning track. And that brings up Noriki Fujimura. So Bob digging in. Bob flew out to center field. And Bob lays off the first pitch he sees. That stays a little bit low. 1 ball now to Bob. And I'm not even sure where Northeastern Nebraska is located. Someone out there will text me, I'm sure. That one missing downstairs. 2 curveballs, and Bob now quickly ahead. 2 balls, no strikes. The 2-0 coming up. There's a strike on the outer half. Shaw's been doing a good job, Ian, of working the outside part of the plate to these right-handed hitters.
He is. Seems the umpire's got a very consistent zone, and he's using that to his advantage.
The 2-1. And Bob with a healthy swing. Larks have scored their first run of the game on a hit. On the double. So Bob trying to add to that with Noah over there in scoring position at second base.
This 3rd inning alone has taken as much time as the 1st and 2nd inning.
Popped up, and that one will be fielded by the second baseman, Smith. So the Larks get a run on a hit and a walk. We've played 3 innings. Larks trailing 6-1. We'll be back after this on the Lark Network.
College was the best decision that I could have made for the first 2 years of college. I'm a go-getter, a thinker, I like to be challenged, and I'm getting all that here at Heston. I'm living in a mod with people from all around the world, which is feeding my thirst for a broader worldview. I'm on a first-name basis with my teachers, which is really emphasizing this community that is so present at Heston. And so I'm really glad that I chose to start here at Heston College because I've been given the tools and the mindset to go everywhere.
It was important to try to create community, enjoying the journey together. I think when the athletes on your team, they kind of understand that what we're doing is more than just performing well and winning the games. If you don't enjoy the journey, you're not going to enjoy the destination.
They just
give him the big old "You Suck" trophy.
And welcome back here to Oswald Field. Here, hey, got a couple text messages. Northeastern Nebraska is in Norfolk. And then Randy Leahy saying he's only ever had 3 role models in his life. Jesus, Jan Michael Vincent of Airwolf fame, and Derek Apodoletto. Go Hawks! So, all right. Dumont coming up to bat. He's had himself a game. He's scored twice, hit a home run. So he is 1 for 2 here as we're in the 4th, and the Hawks leading 6-1.
Extremely large gap out there in right center.
And Dumont takes a strike, and I can understand that. That wind is funneling everything towards left center.
It is. Something low, though, in the gap.
Could run for a while.
You could.
Of course, if it hits the swampland known as a warning track out there, and Dumont looks at a pitch downstairs, and the count now 1 ball, 1 strike. So Ian is a Royals fan. Probably a fan of the designated hitter rule, too. That one missing downstairs. And they count 2 balls, 1 strike. I'm a Braves fan, so I'm an NL guy.
Not a fan of the proposed new rules, though.
Really?
They're trying to take. Have you read them?
Not all of them.
They're trying to take the rubber back 24 inches.
There's a fly ball out there to left field, and that will just get over the fence for a home run. Second home run of the day for Christian Dumont on the little flaring home run. He hits his 2nd bomb of the day, his 3rd run scored. It's 7-1 here. No, I did not know they were going to take the rubber back 24 inches.
Yeah, they want to take the rubber back 24 inches, but not change the height or the slope. They want to try and incorporate the pitch tracker that we see when we're watching the games, but allow the umpires to be able to receive a call like right away.
That's a first pitch swinging fly ball to center field. Grant will be on the run, and he'll come underneath and make the play for Levac, and that brings up Drew Smith. Smith homered his last at bat. So 4 home runs now hit by Northeast.
They want to eliminate specialty pitchers. They want to make it where you have to face 3 batters or get to an end of an inning before you can come out of the game.
See, I don't like that. As there's a pitch on the outer half for a strike. And the 0-1. Fly ball out of play. And the count now moving. No balls, 2 strikes.
They also want to take the time from 2 minutes and 5 seconds between innings to 1:45.
Okay. And the 0-2 coming up. That one misses outside, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I don't know how I feel about the rubber being taken back 2 feet.
I don't think that's going to do anything except raise ERAs. I like to see good pitchers pitch. That one fouled off on the left side.
Raise ERAs, but talking about it yesterday, curveballs they're going to float a lot longer. They're going to break at your head and end at your knees, but
or they're not going to get there. That's the other problem.
They're not going to get there.
The 1-2 on the way. That's on the ground at Robert. Robert plays it off the hop, throw over. Not in time. That took a little bit of a funky hop in front of Robert. He didn't come up with it cleanly. And I think that might go down in the book as an error. We're unofficial. I'll put it down in my book as an error. Well, what do you think on that?
It's an error.
I score tough. I've always scored it tough. Jaden Sinju, he hit a home run his last at bat. He drove in a run. He's having himself a day already. He's 2 for 2 with a run driven in, 2 runs scored, and both of his hits of the extra base variety. And that one missing downstairs. Looks like we got a little action out there in the bullpen for the Larks.
Got Dalton Woody warming up.
Okay, Woody's out there warming up. And the 1-0 coming up. Fly ball hit a ton. That'll be out of here, and that is the 2nd home run for Jaden Sinju as he goes deep for the 2nd time today. And that is the 9th run of the contest here.
How many home runs we at, Rusty?
You're going to make me count, aren't you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home runs already. So Morrissey said we'd hit 5, and we're at 5 in game 1. That'll bring up Tanner Hunt. Hunt, 1 for 2. And a swing and a miss on the curveball. I believe all but 2 of these runs are earned for Hudson. And the curve outside, missing on the count, even 1 ball and 1 strike. So Hunt, 1 for 2, doubled in the first, struck out in the third. We're in the top of the 4th. 3 more runs across. And there's a pitch for a strike. In the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Huddy seems to be doing a good job, though. You know, a lot of home runs, but he doesn't seem to be rattled.
No, he doesn't.
Seems to be keep a nice rhythm.
There's a swing and a miss, and Hunter goes down. And I think that's the mentality you have today. You know that the ball's probably going to go over the fence at some point. The first 3 home runs were legitimate home runs. Those last 2 just got over the fence a little bit. And there's a looping line drive toward the bullpen. And it's fouled away for Mills Masick. Masick was hit by a pitch and then caught stealing. He's 0 for 1. 500 on-base percentage so far in this game. And the 0-1 coming up. On the ground at Noah at second base. Noah plays it perfect. Tosses over to Kalen. And the first ground out of the game for Northeastern Nebraska ends the 4th. We've played 3.5. Hawks leading 9-1. We'll be back after this here on the Lark Network.
We all work together to see what we can collaborate on and how things are going to work together.
I really love that moment when I see a student finally connect with their character. I stop seeing them and I begin seeing the character.
It was important for us to get a page up for managing the social media of the theater department, especially to show what's going on with the show, what's going on with future productions.
I can go in any direction that I want.
I want to give my best and I want to do my best here.
College was the best decision that I could have made for the first 2 years of college. I'm a go-getter, a thinker, I like to be challenged, and I'm getting all that here at Heston. I'm living in a mod with people from all around the world, which is feeding my thirst for a broader worldview. I'm on a first-name basis with my teachers, which is really emphasizing this community that is so present at Heston. And so I'm really glad that I chose to start here at Heston College because I've been given the tools and the mindset to go everywhere.
So Ian pointing out that we've got a different pitcher here. It looks like Hunter Kelchner, and Ian's got the stats. What are we looking at with Mr. Kelchner here, sir?
About a 6.14 ERA, 2 appearances, and 7.1 innings pitched.
Okay. 7 1/3. So my ERA was perfect. It was 0.00 because I never pitched because I knew better. So I get to say that. In my years of playing Babe Ruth baseball. Playing Babe Ruth baseball at this field that no longer exists, where the third baseline, Ian, was right along the scoreboard. It went parallel to those. It ran right along the trees, and you hit to the south. And the old backstop over there, where they are going to build the softball field, was the original backstop.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's where the softball field's going.
Yeah, softball field will go over there as
it's coming in next year.
Yep, it'll be here for next season. So.
That will be nice.
Yes, it will be very nice to have all Lark athletics on campus. Caleb Stoll lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth. Larks trailing 9-1. And I think your approach at this point has said, we got to get base hits. We've got to put everything in play. And the first pitch from Caleb, or from Kelchner, is fouled back for Caleb in the count 0-1. And that one,
loving that outside corner.
Outer half for the strike. And the 0-2 coming up here. Kelchner, the righty, working, dealing. Misses too far outside in the count 1-2 strikes. Kelchner's a freshman. The 1-2 coming up. And they want different signs now as there's some miscommunication here between Walker and Kelchner. As Walker looking back to the dugout saying he wants to go through the signs one more time. Gets what he likes, gives it to Mr. Kelchner, and Kelchner working from the windup. The 1-2 on the way. And Caleb fights it off, fouls it off, and that will disappear into the landscaping, never to be seen again. These shrubs here along our lower concourse, so to speak, eat baseballs, softballs, and I think they've even claimed a couple of little children over the years. The 1-2 coming up. Kelchner rocking, firing, and delivering. And Caleb takes a hack at it, pops it up a mile high up in the air. Going back is Dumont. Dumont makes a grab over his head. And behind him, a nice play by Dumont over there at third base. So the Larks have yet to have a ground out, a ball hit on the ground. Everything has been a pop out or a line drive or a fly out. And that will bring up Caden Bartlett. Let's go Larks, Solomon family in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Thanks for the opportunity to cheer on Natty and the whole team. So Northeast Community College is 2 hours north of Omaha. Caden on the ground of the third baseman. Dumont swallows it up, throws across the diamond, and in time in the first grounded of the game for the Larks is at third base. So the Larks quickly behind with 2 outs, and Kalen Haynes coming to bat. So Kalen, also known as K-Mike, I believe. Am I right on that? That's what I thought. He helped during basketball some. Before baseball took him away from us. And Kalen struck out in his first at-bat. Kalen pops it up, got underneath it a little bit, and that will be out of play. Kelchner getting his sign from Walker again. Natty on deck. Kalen lifts it. That is a shot. Hit a ton over there and to the fence into the warning track swamp, and Kalen has a double.
Beautiful swing.
Kalen hits a 384-foot double.
I go off the fence?
No, it hit right there into the wetlands known as the warning track. And for those of you who don't understand, this field drains to the warning track just a little bit. There's enough of a grade that any type of water, and we just had about 3 inches of snow that melted away, and all of that is on the warning track right now. So I'm not sure if it's not the wettest I've ever seen. 2 outs now for Natty. And Kalen leading away from second base. The curveball comes inside and hits Natty. Natty had nowhere to go. And that brings up Zach Duncan. And Zach drew a walk.
Exactly what he needed to do.
Wind is howling out towards left. Now I can see the umpire's slacks billowing in the breeze. Normally we'd have the window up and get some sounds of the game, but I said let's stay comfortable. I've spent too many games where you're cold over the years. And there's a pitch downstairs for a ball to Mr. Duncan, who does not wear batting gloves, wears work gloves, which have a little bit, I think, of a longer lifespan than batting gloves.
Oh, of course. Asked him about it. He says he's got to use one pair.
The 1-0 coming up. Two runners on. And that one misses high on the count. 2 balls and no strikes to Mr. Duncan. The count 2 balls and no strikes as Kelchner gets his sign. A curveball too far in.
Thought it hit him.
I thought it did too, but Zach got out of the way. And they count 3 balls, no strikes.
Wonder how Coach is feeling about that one.
You want those freebies though, don't you?
Oh, Coach Glom does not like if you step out of the way. Now, when it's so far behind you like that, I don't know if you can step into it, but
yeah. Zach draws a walk on the pitch inside. Zach draws his second walk, and just like that, Ian, the meadow is occupied. The nest is full, and Robert will come to bat, and that'll bring a quick visit to the mound to talk things over what they want to do with Mr. Diaz.
That's another thing they're trying to take out is mound visits.
Yeah.
At everything.
Yeah.
At all. They do not want any more visits to the mound.
What do they? I think they get. Do they get 6 a game now in the JUCO ranks?
I don't know what it is. All I know is they want to take it out completely. The only way you can go out there is
to pull a pitcher.
To pull a pitcher, and I believe between innings. But there is no more, And I think that's dumb because sometimes, in a situation like this, you need just a quick little.
Right. How very true you speak.
Something to relax you,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not information, stats or anything, but some of us need a SpongeBob quote or something like that. Get us a little calm.
Really? A SpongeBob quote?
Hey.
Whatever works, right?
Ask any of the catchers. They all got some SpongeBob quotes lined up.
Swing and a miss for Robert, and the count now 0-1 with the meadow occupied as an exaltation of Larks is on the base paths, which is the scientific grouping for a scientific name of a group of larks. The 0-1, and there's a good pitch from Kelchner, outside count. Corner for a strike, and the count 0-2. Robert struck out looking his first at bat. That one too far out, and a nice stop by Walker.
K-Mike was ready to go.
Yes, he was. At third base, Walker with a nice grab sliding to his right to keep K-Mike at third base. And the 1-2 coming up. That is a hot shot, but it's vacuumed up and swept up by Dumont. Dumont simply steps on third base to end the threat So the Larks strand 3 on a hit batter, and a walk. We've played 4 here. Northeastern Nebraska 9, your Hesston College Larks 1. We're back after this on the Lark Network.
Adriana Ruiz from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Amy Bertado from Whittier, California.
Anissa Aguilar, Hacienda Heights, California.
Cassidy King from Cochranville, Pennsylvania.
Chelsea Smith, Tacoma, Washington.
Jenna Garcia, Hutchinson, Kansas.
Jenna Schneider from Lodi, California.
Jessie Miranda from Turlock, California.
Kaylin Lastly from Salina, Kansas. My name is Alexis Avalos, and I'm from Yucaipa, California. Madison O'Brien, Zuni, Virginia.
Malia Sandy from Girard, Kansas.
Paige Biddle from Sacramento, California.
Reese McCrary from Sacramento, California.
My name is Sadie Leatherman, and I'm from Couts, Indiana.
Shay Hoover, Potwin, Kansas.
And welcome back here. And the first pitch swinging is a base hit out to center field for Brian Walker. Walker digging in. He was walked in his last at bat. He has a single. And another runner aboard for the Hawks. And that will bring up Derek Bottaletto. Bottaletto singled his last at bat. He's 1 for 2. That one downstairs, a good stop for Caleb. So I think by my count, I think I said 7 of the 9 runs are earned in.
Yes.
And that's unofficial, of course. I'm not the official scorer. The 1-0 is a strike in the count now, even at 1 ball and 1 strike. I learned how to keep score when I was in 2nd grade, how to keep a book. And the 1-1 coming up. On the ground through the hole, right side, base hit for Bottaletto, and now back-to-back singles. And now Northeastern Nebraska with a little something doing here in the 5th. And head coach Tim Cole heading out to talk things over with Hudson. So Richardson coming to bat. He's 0 for 2 after. Man, that's going to do it for Hudson. I think Woody's coming in. We'll take a break, and we'll be back after this on the Lark Network.
We all work together to see what we can collaborate on and how things are going to work together.
I really love that moment when I see a student finally connect with their character. I stop seeing them, and I begin seeing the character.
It was important for us to get a page up for managing the social media of the theater department, especially to show what's going on with the show, what's going on with future productions.
I can go in any direction that I want.
I want to give my best, and I want to do my best here.
It was important to try to create community, enjoying the journey together. I think when the athletes on your team, they kind of understand that what we're doing is more than just performing well and winning the games. If you don't enjoy the journey, you're not going to enjoy the destination.
Dalton Woody warming up here for the Larks as that closes the book on Hudson as he works 4 innings and faces 2 extra batters in the inning. So Woody coming in to pitch, D. Woody. As we're in the top of the 5th, Northeastern on top, 9-1. A couple runners on here, as they've hit 5 home runs here in this first ball game. Got text saying, "Let's go, D-Man. Mama is watching you." No pressure, D-Man. And Dalton will work. And the first pitch is a strike on the outside half to David Richardson. And you know, Ian, you made the comment, this zone has been incredibly consistent for both pitchers.
It has been. He's, especially on the outside.
Yeah.
Outside-inside calls.
The 0-1 from Dalton as he checks the runner at second base. And a swing and a miss on the off-speed, and Richardson quickly behind 0-2.
That's one thing Woody is good at, is this little off-speed pitches.
It's interesting because over the years, college coaches have more stressed as you come up to be able to change speed. Not so much movement, but be able to change speed. And there's the curveball and a swing and a miss. And Richardson strikes out for the third time this afternoon. That brings up the dangerous Christian Dumont, who has hit 2 home runs, scored 3 runs, driven in 2. So Dumont looking for the hat trick of home runs with 3 in 1 game. If he can get one up in the wind. Wind still blowing out. As we're in the 5th. The off-speed misses upstairs. Let's go, David. Mom's watching for Grand Island. Love you, son. So I think that's some of the Richardson fan club. That text a little bit late after that, after Richardson's last at bat. That pitch misses outside. And they count 2 balls, no strikes, as you can hear the wind almost in the press box. Temperature slowly dipping. It was 48 to start at our first pitch, down to 47, so it's very slow, but in a wind like that, it always feels colder. And the shift is on here for the Larks, as Noah is behind the bag at second base. And Dumont takes a pitch downstairs. Go Larks, 35 the chop from Kevin Theory, Kendall's Theory's dad, watching in Houston, Texas. I bet it's probably a little nicer than 47. 3-0 coming up here.
Hey, we're lucky to have 47.
Hey, I'll take it. It feels good. There's a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Dumont has owned the Larks today with a pair of home runs, 2 runs driven in. The first home run was no doubt. The second one got over the fence. Wind still howling out to left center field. That one downstairs, and Dumont draws the walk. He reaches base for the 4th time today, and the bases are loaded for Cale Lavick.
It's a very effective leadoff hitter, that's for sure.
Yeah, when you have an on-base percentage of 1 billion,
yeah,
you're doing things right. So Lavick singled and has flown out and struck out. He's 1 for 3 as we're in the 5th. And takes a strike on the outside corner. The 0-1 coming up. Curveball fouled off or fought off. Bob going across the dugout or diamond and gets a run, but a run does come in for Northeast. And that was Nariki's only play to go to third. And the 10th run of the contest comes up. And Lavik will get his second ribby of the day. And Drew Smith hit a home run in the second 2-run bomb. 10-1 the score, Larks trailing by 9. The curveball bounces away. 2 gone here in the 5th. But that is a big run over there at third base for the Hawks. The 1-0. Right side, ball hit. That could be trouble. That will drop in. 1 run in as the ball is dropping down in front of Natty. 2 runs in and a long 2-run single for Drew Smith. His 4th ribby of the afternoon, and 2 more across. Got a text here saying, all gas, no brakes, turn me up, Woody, from Kendall Theory. I'm not even going to try and decipher the slang you guys use. We'll just let it go that. The last thing we ever need to see is Ryan Morrissey dancing in the press box. Fly ball hit to center field. Natty going back, and Grant runs underneath it and makes the play. So Grant and Natty out there teaming up. But 3 more runs across here for the Hawks. And the Larks now trailing 12-1. They need to score 2 here to keep things going, or this will be over. We'll go to the top of the 5th here on the Lark Network.
Robbie Rod, Houston, Texas.
Brett Heichman, Lindsborg, Kansas.
Caden Bartlett, Amber, Oklahoma.
Caleb Stoll, Litchfield Park, Arizona.
Tatum Ferguson, Nassau, Bahamas.
Connor Leach, Erie, Colorado.
Dalton Woody, Cibolo, Texas.
Dade Milburn from Lincoln, Nebraska. David Berzins, Houston, Texas.
Dave Ryan, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Dayton Watkins, Valley Center, Kansas.
Grant Bloyer, Winfield, Kansas.
Hudson Smith, Waukomis, Oklahoma.
Hugo Kinabuchi, San Diego, California. Ian Leckie, Overland Park, Kansas.
Justin Durnall, I'm from Windsor, Colorado.
Kalen Haynes, Trophy Club, Texas.
Kendall Theory, Westlake, Louisiana.
Malachi Swartz, Overland Park, Kansas.
Naoki Izumura, Tokyo, Japan.
Natty Solomon, Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Nick Platten from Adelaide, Australia.
Noah Roberts, Wichita, Kansas.
Omar Aguilar, Panama City, Panama.
And welcome back here to Oswald Field as the Larks need to score 2 runs to keep playing here, Ian. And Grant Boyer takes a strike upstairs. Got a text saying, turn me up, Larks-ish. It's got to be ish. That one missing outside, and the count. 1 ball, 1 strike to Grant.
When one comes in from Sterling, and that's when you know it's all over. And Sterling gets it going.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You might have just poked a bear right there, Ian. And that one missing outside. And the count, 2 balls, 1 strike to Grant. Grant struck out in his first at-bat.
I don't know anyone else who gets hyped up more than Sterling when you say turn me up.
Grant taps 1 foul, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll keep that in mind. See if we can get Skip all hyped up.
I know he'll be here. Some of these games, he's good friends with a lot of the players.
And the 2-2 coming up. On the ground at third baseman, Dumont. Dumont gloves it, throws across the diamond over to Levick, and there is one out for the Larks.
Grant made that a close play. A little speedy guy.
Well, you'd hope your center fielder can run a little bit.
Well, yeah, but still.
I would have tripped coming out of the box, but that's a different story. Noah digging in. Noah doubled in the only Lark run back in the third. He's 1 for 2. One out here in the fifth as the Larks in danger of being spread. The big curve comes over and drops in for a strike. And no, wasn't a big fan of that call.
And a Wild Dave running across.
The 0-1 coming up. And Noah taps it foul on the left side. The count now 0-2. That one missing outside, and the count 1-2. So, Ian, I'm going to throw a challenge out to you.
All right.
My challenge is my question, I shouldn't say challenge. My question is, who's your all-time favorite Major League Baseball player?
I don't know.
That one missing outside, the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah.
It's gonna. I don't know, I'm not going back too far. You know? I'm thinking it's more of a modern day.
Yeah, that.
I like.
That one squirts away from the catcher.
It's kind of gone back and forth. You know, Merrifield and Perez right now.
Okay.
Like everything, they're big team players.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd have to say, be weird because I've never heard anybody else say it. But Alcides Escobar.
Okay.
That man, you know, didn't miss a game for how many years? And when he did, it was only one game.
Payoff pitch is too far outside, and Roberts aboard. Yeah, that's right. After being spiked.
He got back up. You know, it was never about him.
Of course, I remember that series because that Saturday and Sunday games got ugly in a hurry. In a hurry with the Royals and the A's.
I never watched him, you know, get upset. There was never any, you know, fights. Yeah. Never got ejected.
And that one missing downstairs to Bob. Riki Fujimura.
Offensively, you know, up until the past few years, he was, I mean, big in the World Series run in 2014, you know.
He was.
Big. And defensively, he's still one of the best.
That's a hard hit ball, but it's bouncing foul down the third baseline. As that ball was pounded into the ground by Bob. Bob's 0 for 2.
But, you know, I like going back and watching, you know, Dan Quisenberry. George Brett.
Oh, I loved George Brett growing up. He's one of my all-time favorites. The 1-1 coming up. And Bob sees a strike in the outside, and Bob did not agree with the call.
I don't know about that. That looked a little far. I mean, you got a better viewpoint from me. It looked like it might have been in the other's batter's box.
We're up. It's hard to say. I mean, these guys have been incredibly consistent all day long.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, don't get us wrong. They have done a great job. Bob swings and misses, and Bob is out on strikes as he will be retired. Noah, though, will trot down to second base. And that brings up Caleb with 2 outs. So Caleb's 0 for 2 here in the 5th. And the Larks need these runs, or this one will be over. And there's a strike at the knees to Caleb. Is that your phone? Morrissey's phone? Oh, it's someone's phone over there. Okay. The 0-1 coming up. That one missing downstairs. The count even at 1 ball and 1 strike to Caleb Stoll. Caleb, first week of the season, ended up with Jayhawk Division II Player of the Week award after his performance down in Texas where he was a tough out.
He's a tough out in general.
And now the Hawks with a little bit of a shift. There's a great big hole over on the right side. That one missing outside in the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kelchner getting his sign. Likes what he sees, the pitch. Too high in the count, now 3 balls and 1 strike. Looks like we have a great competition up here between Ian and Ryan Morrissey. Morrissey running the scoreboard to see who can ever get the ball up on screen faster. I like this. And the 3-1 coming up. That's upstairs and a ball. Free pass issued to Caleb Stoll. And so Caleb aboard for Caden Bartlett. Caden's 0 for 2 with a pop out to shortstop, and a ground out to third base. Larks have only had 3 balls that were ground outs. Everything else has been a pop out fly or popped up or a strikeout today. And the only time that the Hawks didn't score was in the 2nd inning. Otherwise, they've hung up a bunch of crooked numbers today. And Caden takes the curveball for a strike. You guys said that Dane Milburn's going to start game 2. Is that what you think?
I believe this.
Okay.
I believe that's what it is.
The 0-1 coming up. Curveball.
It's a night. Got a lot of movement on that one.
Did. Dropped a little bit low on the count now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Love to hear from you guys. We want to see if you guys can text us as well during game 2. We'll keep that up on the screen. On the count 1 and 2. The 1-2 coming up here from Kelcher, and Caden calls time. Swing and a miss, and Caden goes down, and that will do it. Our final score here from Game 1, Northeastern Nebraska winning 12-1. We will take a break and come back with the start of Game 2 here in about 25 minutes right here on the Lark Network.